Good evening. Welcome to Gilbert, Arizona once again. As you can tell, I have a different pool this year. It is a Pro Series frame pool, actually, and it's marketed once again by PolyGroup. These are the same people that also make the Summer Escapes pool. So after using that one for 3 years, the liner was getting old on that 17 foot by 48. The liner was getting old and I'd have to replace it. It was going to cost a little over $100. Well, at the end of last summer, this one was on clearance sale at Sam's Club for $99.99, and it is a 20 foot by 48. So instead of purchasing a new liner, and you can tell the water's being filled right now. It looks very similar to the Intex as far as the pipes here being oval. Okay, the tube, the horizontal tubes, the vertical tubes are oval. We have the same filtration setup, the same skimmer that'll attach in right here. And then this hole I'll have to enlarge to accept the Intex conversion that I did on the Summer Escapes pool. Once again, and I'll see if I can't hang this over here, if it'll stay. No, it won't, but it fits right here, that same type skimmer, okay? That skims the surface of the water and filters it with the basket down inside, okay? And the type A filter that comes with it, that just pulls right off, okay? Alright, but I won't use that. See, this is the new skimmer. It came with the pool again. Once again, PolyGroup. And this is the skimmer I'd converted over a couple years ago with the valves and stuff on the bottom and the strainer. The main reason, this valve, the Arizona heat's very hard on polymers, so this valve broke, and I couldn't get it at $75 on Amazon, so I said I'd wait. So I picked up the new setup over the winter, and just this valve was $75, and this new output that goes into the pool was like $8. So I bought it over the winter when it was a good price. And then I will show you a little bit more in detail of how I got the bottom from this to the smoothness so I could put on this valve. Now down inside, this is what I had. Down inside of here is the strainer in the bottom of the skimmer. Okay, down inside. See if I can't put this in without too difficulty. Okay, and then that is what this valve fit on. Okay. And that's how I did that. And I didn't have any filter cartridge inside of the skimmer, like it normally is designed to do that. See, here's the output valve that goes through the hole here. Okay, you can see it is definitely too small. So I will enlarge this hole to accept that to come through here. And that's how that will put the water back, the filtered water back into the pool. Okay, the PolyGroup system is that 1.5 with the glorified fish aquarium pump. And I have that came with it, but I'm not even going to plug it in. I'm not even going to take it out of the wrapper. And of course, here's that glorified aquarium filter. And it's a little bit larger than the one that was with the Summer Escape pool. But I'm not even going to unwrap it. Definitely larger. It'll get more water flow, but I'm not going to use it. Here's the valve pieces that come with it, okay, and the hose that comes from the bottom, and this is what you go through the pool wall, put the water back into the pool. That connects to here with these clamps, okay. I'm not going to use it. I will use the skimmer door flaps and the gaskets, but the rest of that, I'm not going to use. I will try to show you step by step how I got from this to that, okay, by using my 2 3/4 inch hole saw. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this down first. Last time I used the hole saw and then ground it down. Well, it didn't take much to learn from that. So I will grind this down and then cut out the larger hole. Okay? And I'll do that with the sound volume, with the volume of the sound down, so the side grinder is not going to be too noisy. And we'll show you how I did that. I'm going to try to do this with one hand to grind this off, to make it flat, so it'll accept without leaking. We have the gasket on the inside, the strainer that came with the kit. Here's the side grinder, okay, and I've just got a stacked sandpaper type wheel on it. It's a little bit worn because I've been using it for metal, so it makes it kind of perfect a little bit for this plastic, but I still have to be very careful. I hope the noise doesn't bother you. I don't think there's any way I can mute this sound, so I'll just do it for a moment and then stop, and I'll continue without the video. You can see how just that few minutes how much I've done that. Okay. As I grind it, it actually heats it up. Okay. And these are just pieces of the plastic that heat up. See, so I need to peel those off every so often. So I'm doing it very carefully. So I can see exactly how far I need to go down. I don't want to go down too far. I need to just go right flush with the bottom. Okay, so I'll end up taking my knife and scraping some of this off as it gets close to the actual base where this is molded. Okay, here's the 2 3/4 inch hole saw that I'll be using. Like I said, I've used it for wood. It's a little bit dull for wood, but it'll work perfectly for this. Actually, I'll just put it on my cordless drill. Now, right now, I'm just going to line it up and center it and mark it, and then that will tell me where I put the hole. The hole is drilled, okay, with the hole saw. A little bit off center, but I've already tested with the strainer, and it's going to fit in there just fine. Okay, and that strainer will fit. It fits fine. Okay, and I've got some wiggle room with it. Using the side grinder gets actually aggressive. I've taken my pocket knife, I've kind of whittled some of this down a little bit and cleaned that up. Decided to try my palm sander instead. So we'll see how that goes. Move slick. Dropped it a little bit. You know, it's not quite. I got 220 grit on that, and I think that'll work well for cleanup a little bit. So let me just go very carefully with the side grinder, and then I'll do the final cleanup with the palm sander. That's just kind of roughing it in with the side grinder. As you can see, it's melted all over a little bit, little shavings. So let's see what the palm sander does to finish it up. Okay, here's my final result. And I would take actually in my knife, and I would just kind of scrape it like that a little bit. Okay, and that would help me smooth it out a little bit. And then the palm sander. I know I've done this once before, but I had a new one. I wanted to do it again and do a little bit better job. So I took a little more time and used the palm sander this time that I didn't use last time, and scrape it down with my knife. And I have a little bit smoother finish, a little bit more flatter level finish surface. for that strainer to come in and screw down, and the other one didn't leak, so I expect this one to be just as well. Okay. Now, down inside here, there's about a 3/8 of an inch lip sticking in around this. Don't worry about that, okay? Because when I take my 2 3/4 inch hole saw and make the hole bigger, see that lip right there? That will disappear. It'll only be just as thick as, okay? And see, that's what it'll end up looking like. That's the one I did previously, and I had no leaks in it. Okay, see the difference? I'll take the hole saw and make that 2 3/4 inch hole, okay, and it will get rid of this little lip. Alright, so I have the inlet strainer through the bottom of the skimmer that's going to sit on the side of the pool. Okay, and then that's the valve that I can turn on and off. That's actually in the off position. Give it a twist and pull it, and then that's in the on position, so water will flow through it and come out here, and flow through here, come out, and go to the pump. Okay, so we'll put it in the closed position, give it a slight twist. Alrighty, and that's going to go on to the pool and act as a surface skimmer. Okay, so here's the skimmer. Okay, you see there, that's the skimmer hole right there. Skimmer goes on to there, and I'll bolt that on. Okay, and I'll have the pump down here on the ground. Okay, now I want to talk about the vacuuming a little bit. It'll be easier to actually show you my vacuum setup on this now versus me doing it in the pool with one hand. I tried that last year. It was not very easy to do. So that's why I hadn't made the vacuuming video. And since I didn't have anyone videoing for me, that's what I did. This piece right here is the key. I bought this off of Amazon. I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't terribly expensive, around $10. And it comes with both of those pieces. Okay, it was a little bit larger in diameter, but it's actually made as a skimmer to close up the skimmer to do a vacuum on a regular pool. So what I did was take the basket. You take the basket that's in the canister on the skimmer. Okay, there we are, and I leave that basket in there because I like to put the when it's all done, I leave the basket because I didn't put my chlorine cubes and tablets on top of that, so the water filters through that. But to get it to seal right, okay, to get this piece to seal right, I close that up, okay, for the vacuum. This piece goes on here to my regular vacuum hose. My vacuum hose comes in through the front of the skimmer while it's in the pool. Turn the pump on, and there's my vacuum. Okay, but to get that size right, there's the vacuum hose that I went ahead and purchased. To get that size right, I took the basket, overturned it, okay, on top of there. I scribed my line, or drew my line around the outside of it, and once again, with my trusty side grinder, I slowly, with the line, and put a slight bevel on it so it'd seal. And I did that because these vacuums that come with the PolyGroup kit, just like the Summer Escapes pool, not all that great, to say the least. It's actually about the best I could say for them, not all that great. That's not all that good, okay? Use your water hose or whatever, and it came with another little small piece of hose. It's not very good. So I went ahead and changed over to this system using the regular vacuum hose. I put this down on top. I put this piece down on top of the skimmer. Okay, that blocks the water coming from in the pool, from the surface through the filter. So only water coming in is through the vacuum hose. And then here's the vacuum I actually bought. Okay, since it's a vinyl pool, I just use the brushes. Works very well, actually. Now I'm going to use the gasket as my circle to enlarge that hole. It also needs to be 2 3/4 of an inch. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a circle drawn around it to enlarge the hole. Okay, you can see the inside of that hole, basically the same diameter as the inside of the gasket. Okay, I drew it around it with the line, and then I used my X-Acto knife and I cut around it. Okay, now I'm going to take the output valve and put that in through the front. Okay, I'm going to put that gasket back on it, and then, yeah, sorry about that, doing all this one-handed. Okay. Alrighty, that's nice and tight. Now I'm going to take the valve, put on the back of it, and then we'll put the hose onto the valve. And there's the finished product. Okay. It's filling up with water. We've got that out there. Alrighty. Now it's on the basket because we do irrigate here in Arizona, and that lifts it up out of the water. So when irrigation comes, the pump is not in the water. And here is everything operational. With the new pool, I didn't even put the PolyGroup stuff on. I just immediately converted over like I did the Summer Escape pool. Well, I'm going to enjoy this pool. I hope y'all who have one enjoy it as well. And it's well worth converting it over from the Summer Group's cheesy stuff to something that is more powerful and will do the job better than what they can provide you. Have a nice summer.